So this song is called Brown Squadron in Name of Father. It's about my ex-wife's father and not me. Brown Squadron represents her family, the ex-in-laws, and the war they've started, and that I have to finish on the defensive, but not as the provoker or the attacker. This album was produced by Matt Wallace and mixed by Matt Wallace, who also did Faith No More, Maroon 5, Deftones. Mastering engineer was Maor, Appelbaum. They both did a phenomenal job. Josh Freese from the Foo Fighters plays drums on this song and 9 other songs on this album. I believe it was the last album that he played fully on before joining the Foo Fighters and replacing the late Taylor Hawkins, who died of myocarditis from the vaccine that he didn't want to take. Ironically, I have that as well now, and I didn't want to take the vaccine either, but it was required to play at the clubs in West Hollywood to show that you were double vaccinated. And later you'll see me in this video playing at the Rainbow in 2021 after the vaccine. Blue Gibson guitar, Les Paul, Blue Sparkle with a Fender Blues Junior Red Sparkle Tweed amp sitting on a truck in Ventura, California here. Also on this album, Faith No More's Billy Gould played bass on 2 songs, and Mike Borden played drums on 2 songs. And Matt, thankful to him for recruiting all these people to help me and get my story to my sons. Thank you, Matt.
I've long died to be by your side. Fuck their family pride. Though I try.
So that was supposed to be symbolic of her father with the turban, even though they're not Sikhs or Muslims or Punjabis, and they don't wear turbans, but my video director put that in. Ironically, he's smoking a pipe, and his son is a chimney or a smokestack, and weed is illegal in Texas. But that's besides the point, even though there are a bunch of druggies on that side of the family and alcoholics. And that's supposed to be her brother with the dollar bills coming down, because now he's a doctor, so he's God in their eyes.
Still grandpa lies, so uncle will meet his demise.
The snakes are supposed to represent my ex-wife. There's a lot of shots of me playing music and at shows across the country, mainly in LA. I think some were in the Bay Area. Music is my catharsis and my soul therapy from what's happened to me because of Texas. And so I quit law because the law screwed me in my divorce for custody. And so in the last 10 years, I've only worked 3 jobs officially. That was 10 years ago as a cook. And the rest of the music has been my only revenue since then, so it hasn't been easy. But in this next scene, playing bass and singing lead with the band at Universal Bar and Grill in Hollywood. It was autumn 2021. This character is supposed to represent my former spouse. The actor or actress keeps coming back in multiple scenes and videos as a recurring theme. The album is autobiographical, so my sons can know the truth about what happened to me. And and the songs sort of go chronologically, and you see this actor in the scenes looking in the mirror, putting on makeup at the club, in the bathroom with her girlfriends, getting drunk, partying, dancing, and so you see that ongoing theme a lot.
Brown Squadron will soon falling in name of Father. In due time, they'll hear my rhyme. They'll hang themselves from the vine.
So then, that's supposed to be her dad, symbolic over there, like, no, stop. And then we talk about, in due time, they'll hear my rhyme, they'll hang themselves from the vine. That's my son's hearing the rhyme, and because what I'm saying is true, and being an attorney, there's no slander because it's factual. First Amendment, constitutional right. So I say they'll hang themselves from the vine, so they're going to hang themselves with their own lies. And there's a saying in Old English called hoisted on one's own petard. It might be Shakespearean, which I studied as an English major at the University of Pennsylvania prior to law school matriculation. I was a modern poetry concentration at Penn, and hoisted on your own petard is like, give them a dose of their own medicine. It's basically literally like in war or battle the old days, there'd be a sword fight and they'd gouge the opponent in the stomach and then lift them with their own sword. Like take their sword, stab them in the stomach and raise them. So the petard is the short sword, and then raising them is hoisting them on their own petard, which basically means give them what they're dishing out.
Come daylight, long out of sight, the days turn into night. Almighty dollar's name.
So this chessboard is supposed to be symbolic of the lyric where I say, Almighty dollar's name, forge on with their druthers. So that family is very materialistic and about $1,000 purses and jewelry and gold and clothes and shoes and cars and houses and all these things you can't take with you when you die, when you're gone, and very materialistic. And I was not, and all the clothes I had that she bought are the colors that reminded me of Texas, all the earth tones. I threw them all out the night I packed up to leave before sunrise in June 2011, and I dressed like this, t-shirts and such, sweatpants and hoodies, sneakers, and there was a mall in Dallas where later I show Sohan and me at the mall at a train show during Christmas holidays. In that mall, she once saw me dressed in like cargo shorts and flip-flops and a t-shirt, and she's like, you're not going to the mall dressed like that. So I had to like dress up to go to certain malls a certain way, depending what mall and where. And she had all these clothes that she bought on my credit card and maxed out, all just hanging with their tags in the closet, never worn, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, like $400 each blouse or whatever. And when Cosmopolitan magazine said that, well, red is out now, brown is in, all the clothes that she bought in red with tags still on them now just hung there, and brown was in, so now she had to buy more. So yeah, that was not me. I'm not about that life. Her dad admitted to me that the plan was to get me from California to transfer there to Dallas from San Francisco as a federal attorney, get married, buy the house, buy the cars, buy the dogs, have the kids, hire a nanny. Meanwhile, she didn't work during any of this time. Then when I left her, she finally got a job as an alcoholic, as vice president of human resources for a reverse mortgage company, which is the biggest scam out there, because she really has no substance or brain to speak of. And their job basically was code for take the clients or potential clients to happy hour, get them drunk, seal the deal, and then hand them over to her boss, who's now her husband, who's 7 years old, and she's 43, so 27 years difference if you do the math. I want my sons to know that you're not supposed to sleep with the boss, and you're definitely not supposed to make him step parent of the children of their actual father and then move him into the house. So I thought when you marry a so-called sugar daddy or an older guy like that, the idea is to have money and some comfort and security. So why are you still living in my house? Anyway, I could go on, but it was a game of chess, and I'm about to put them in checkmate with the truth.
King's daughter game prey upon her exing other. They'll soon wear cones of
I say they'll soon wear cones of shame, mother and brother. That refers to a Faith No More lyric from the song Cone of Shame, but they're gonna be embarrassed when the truth comes out. I don't really say much about her mother other than she was weak-minded and went along with it, so she's complicit by her inaction and standing up for her grandchildren. She's not a bad person, but she's a battered woman like my mom was, and that I fought for as a lawyer. It's all written here on my arm, defending domestic violence victims as a lawyer in New Jersey. But yeah, her father and her brother, I don't have really anything nice to say about, except that her dad was a hard worker, her brother was smart, but he's an asshole. Thorough, true and through and through, a true asshole. And her mom, I mean, she tried her best, I guess, but whatever. That was me playing guitar in the Bay Area, Milpitas, I believe, at a jam, 2019-ish. That was me on the cliffs of Malibu overlooking the Pacific Ocean with my Gibson Les Paul. I call this the Rush breakdown, the instrumental section here. You hear the bass like Geddy Lee style, and then the synth also Geddy Lee style, and then Josh Freese on the drums is hammering away. Josh is a clock and a machine, and I'm very lucky to have him on this song and 10 songs on the album. Check out his work with the Foo Fighters live, and he's just unbelievable. And there's a reason he was the most sought after session drummer in LA, and Matt got him on board for me to help me out, along with Bill Gould and Mike Bordin of Faith No More on 2 other songs, 2 were the rhythm section. And they heard my story from Matt, and they're like, wow, this is crazy, we gotta help this guy. And the story is so unbelievable that Matt's like, I can't believe this. And so that's how I got him to work with me and help with the project also. I like the guitars on this album a lot. This might be my favorite song sonically on the album, because it probably captured the Iron Maiden influence and the metal influence that I had growing up in the late 80s, early 90s, and why I even like guitar. So I was pretty happy with that. My video director also says this is his favorite because it most captured that vibe. That was me playing in South Jersey, I believe, 2 years ago or 1 year ago. That's me in Malibu with the guitar pick in my mouth, playing the blue Gibson Sparkle Les Paul Studio.
Cannot wait, such is my fate. It's all much too.
I say cannot wait, such is my fate. It's all much too late. Running low. Time to start my show. Soon my sons will know. Basically, like, I don't want to take these truths to the grave, and I have to say my piece. And if this is the only way to controvert the lies and vitriol in Texas that they've been spewing and poisoning my son's ears with for over a dozen years now, plus I have to put these videos up, and that's what this channel is about. So thank you for listening. That's the Rainbow, the iconic Rainbow Bar and Grill on Sunset. That was the last night I played there. I think we left the next morning. I left LA for the last time. And another Gibson Les Paul. I'm singing lead there and playing guitar. And the other video I was singing lead and playing bass guitar. Later in the video I'll be playing drums and singing lead at the same time. And that's Michael Faraday on bass. This bar is awesome. Used to jam there weekly. Met a lot of famous people there. Jammed with Dennis Rodman there. On the Sunset Strip at the time in West Hollywood, you were required to take the vaccine and prove that you were double vaccinated in order to enter. So to play at places like the Rainbow, the Roxy, the Whiskey, the Troubadour, the Viper Room, you had to take the vaccine, which I didn't want to take. But I took it anyway because I wanted to play. And music is that important to me therapeutically, especially since Texas. So it adversely affected my health. I have several autoimmune conditions, and sort of like Taylor Hawkins, it affected him, and he died of myocarditis from taking the vaccine he didn't want because he had years of Foo Fighters gigs to go do internationally. And he died overseas in Colombia, day of the gig. Josh Freese, ironically, replaced him, who was also from Orange County, and they knew each other. Two blonde drummers from Orange County, about 50 years old. Well, he was less than 50 at the time, but I miss playing there. Met a lot of great musicians there, local luminaries. Guns N' Roses filmed November Rain and maybe Estranged, some other videos right there. Motley Crue right on that strip. And any band that's ever made it on any level has come up through those small venues if they played LA. And very historic place, so I really miss it. And my dream was to die in Los Angeles, so let's see what happens.
Running low, time to start my show. Soon my sons will know.
So you see a lot of money and materialism. That's always symbolic and metaphorical reference to my ex-in-laws. So that castle is supposed to be symbolic of the White House I bought her on the corner that my sons still live in with her new spouse, who used to be the boss, who's 27 years older. But like I said, you can't take anything with you when you're gone. Not money, not possessions, not jewelry. And I'm not about that materialism, but they started a war, and I often tell people that I don't intentionally start arguments most times, but maybe it's my training as an attorney, but I usually finish them, I end them, and I don't have to yell, I don't have to curse. I can just usually dissect people with fact and truth and eloquence and elocution, not execution, and just make them dissolve into the floor, make them feel stupid as an English major. But so yeah, they struck first, and now I'm responding.
Game
That's me playing drums in Santa Monica with the band and singing lead at the same time. I'm not playing keyboard and singing lead in this song, even though in this video, even though there are keyboards played by Vincent Jones. He did a great job with the ambiance there. I wasn't into keyboards when I was influenced by these bands in the early 80s, even though Faith No More had a keyboard player. Iron Maiden had a keyboard player behind the curtain, and Radiohead has keyboards, so now I'm more into it. I played piano as an 8-year-old, so I do have that background as far as lessons, but everything else I'm self-taught on as far as all the musical instruments I play. There's a lot of scenes of music and concerts and gigs I played, and women. The women in this videos are, a lot of it is about meeting new people and temptation, and across the country, LA, San Francisco, Philadelphia, New Jersey, what have you. But I want my sons to know that I never chose anyone else over them, never settled down into a committed relationship, never had any more children, unlike my ex-wife who married and moved someone into my house. And I just want them to know that I've been alone, and hasn't been easy. I miss playing Santa Monica in LA. That was Jameson's Pub, about a block or two from the Pacific Ocean. Used to play there weekly as well. Hard Rock Cafe, Hollywood Boulevard. So many good memories in California. My son, Sohan, my older son. That plane can be seen as dropping bombs of truth on them. There's a war motif and a battle motif in the first few songs of this album, first 3. It's like a trilogy. They started war, time to hit the floor. Then there's Brown Squadron, which is this one. And then there's Blue Sea. But the military motif is about, salvos fired by the opposition, and now it's time for me to return fire. That's baby Ishaan on my lap, Sohan as a baby, 2 years older, and Zach, who since passed away. That was on the sofa in Plano, Texas. You can see Sohan, I had the same hair as him, same eyebrows, same eye shape, long eyelashes. Ishaan has long curly eyelashes and the same eyebrows. Sohan has my nose. He got all these things from my mom and her dad. Ishaan is a swimming champion and a basketball player. My dad was a swimming champ. I was a good basketball player, still am, relatively speaking, for my age and health situation. Sohan is a star soccer player on the U.S. Olympic Development Program and a sprinter. My dad was also a track star and a soccer star in India, so he gets that from my dad. Sohan has an angelic voice that started me singing when I was in Texas. A lot of country music, so he was in the back seat. And around 2009, I was singing like Johnny Cash, like, "Hello, my name's Johnny Cash." And because I have a low voice, so that came easy to me in my wheelhouse. But he used to sing like an angel in the back seat. He wouldn't hear a song for a year, and then a year later in the car, he'd know all the words, and his melody was beautiful, like ethereal. He gets that from my mom, who used to sing really well, and she used to play sitar. And I miss my voice. There's a character that's supposed to represent my former spouse again, looking in the mirror, partying with her friends while I'm at home with the kids, getting drunk, lying about it, cheating, having affairs. There's the planes returning home to base, metaphorically after ending the war and defeating the opposition, the dark side. The rebellion prevails, just like in Star Wars. And I'm against war, I'm against violence, but you can only take so much before one has to defend one's honor and the truth and righteousness and one's name, which they've taken from me. That's all I had left was the names I gave my sons, including their first names. But once they took away the last name, it was game on. I illegally changing my kid's name when I'm not dead 7 years. The law says you have to be dead 7 years to change a minor's name, and they know I'm not dead 7 years because I drove from Oakland to Dallas to see his soccer game in October 2019, and so they know I'm around. I'm not dead, not yet anyway. That's Sohan looking up. He was 1 year old. My parents can't tell us apart at parallel ages. If you show them pictures, he's my doppelganger, my twin. There's his long curly lashes, oval eyes. That's me in Dallas at North Park Mall. It was Christmas time, and they had like a train show. I guess this is supposed to be the Roxy in LA, I'm not sure. It's interesting. You see him clutching onto my shirt. Yeah. He was my bestie. Thank you for listening. Appreciate it. Thank you for your support. If you could like, subscribe, comment, and share, it'll help me reach my sons with the truth and my message. There's other videos on this channel that explain more of the story if you're interested. And I appreciate you listening, and thank you once again to Matt Wallace for production and mixing, Maor Appelbaum for master engineering the whole album, and Official Music Syndicate for the videos, the late Michael Ward for rhythm guitars, Logan Maggio lead guitars, Vincent Jones synthesizer, Davey Faragher bass, John Pierce bass, Davey Faragher harmony vocals, Bill Gould bass from Faith No More, and Mike Bardhan drums from Faith No More, as well as Josh Freese drums on this song and 9 others from the Foo Fighters. Thank you.